What is up, my Lorcana Goons? Welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. You are watching the Friday Weekly Market Watch every Friday. I'm here with Zach Stone so we can talk about the Market Watch for a little bit of extra time. And today's a very special episode. This is the 100th episode of the Lorcana Goons Market Watch that we've done. It's been about a year almost since we started the channel. Every Monday and Friday we do these Market Watch videos, and in between we do a lot of other content, my goons. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this content because it does support the channel, keeps me motivated, and it keeps Zach coming back every Friday so we could talk about card prices with us. Zach Stone, how are you doing today, professional card salesman?
Honestly, it's been a roller coaster in terms of like how the market's been and how business has been. So I got a lot to talk about. Can definitely share what's been sold and what's been being purchased from me at the booth this past week. And the D23 promos that we're looking at right here have been going up. So yeah, lots of investments to be, looking at. You can always add to your portfolio with trading card collectibles, and we know a lot of you people that watch this market watch are here for that. So thank you so much, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you are a Lorcana goon.
Yeah, but I think a lot of players, even just small collectors, picked up these D23 collections. Even people who don't play Lorcana at all, or just aren't even too sure exactly what they picked up. But yeah, so they had an MSRP price tag of $100. They were available at D23 and at those Disneyland stores that weekend, and people were buying tons of these, and they were reselling them for like 140. When people were panic selling, and we'd said it on the Market Watch videos too, like people are gonna panic sell them for like $30, $50, quote unquote profit, right? Whatever. But now it's been a couple weeks. We know we're no longer getting these ever again. We have some non-verified listings that have them for $215 with 15 plus shipping, so around $230 is what you're gonna have to pay. And then verified sellers have them for around $250. Fred's Collectibles, Warp Trading. So these are around $250, maybe $240, $230 if you want to hook someone up at the discount. But they're more than $200 now. Each individual card like sells for like 40 to 50, even 60 depending on the card itself. I know the Ursulas and the Oswalds are the ones that are most expensive, but yeah, it was a good buy if you got a bunch of these, like I know a lot of people did, and they're going up. It's only been a couple months, so imagine what they're gonna be like a year from now, right? Mickey Mouse, Playful Sorcerer. This was the promo card you were given at D23. These are not going up though, surprisingly enough. Me and Zach were talking about this. I would say a little disappointing, but they were just giving these out by a handful. People were getting like tens of these, 20, 30. People just had a bunch of Mickey Mouse Playful Sorcerer promos. And I think one of the big things is that a lot of people are going to get them graded. A lot of people probably prefer to pick this card upgraded rather than raw because that way I don't have to go through the hassle of it. It's still a cool promo card, and again, like it's only been it's only been a month, not even a month, huh? Since D23, only been weeks, literally. But what do you think, Zach? I'm holding on to mine. Mickey Mouse Playful Sorcerers. I'm not going to get rid of them to at least a year.
So I definitely think for me, I'm very long term on something like this, just because I have no incentive to get rid of it. Like I went to the D23 Expo for the first time. It's more of a memory, and I kind of want to have something to talk about when I get older, and that's been the biggest reason why I started kind of keeping and collecting these some of these Lorcana cards because of the IP itself. Like I really think that the IP is just super good and relatable to just everybody. Like more than just how I feel about Disney as a company. It's just like how people feel about going to Disneyland. Like honestly, like, a lot of my perspective has changed when I went to Disneyland about a month ago. So it is a card that I'm going to be holding for a very long time, very very long time. I don't think I would like to sell it unless the money I'm going to use is very needed. Or it's life changing money, assuming if it ever gets to a certain point. But that's just where I'm at with this card. And yeah, we've seen people buy them at 400 plus, and we're seeing that now about half off. It's never a bad time to pick up stuff like this too if you're just looking to go long term. I think this is a great price.
You brought something up, Zach, that I want to mention. My perspective also changed a little bit on like the game and the overall Disney community when I went back to Disneyland. I hadn't been to Disneyland since like the day since like 2020, right? And when I went back again like last year in like December, Lorcana was already out, and it was just a different vibe getting my Lorcana card signed. You know what I mean? Because I'm not like huge on rides, and then the Disneyland experience has always been a type of way anyway. But having now going for an extra reason is pretty cool. Yeah, D23 definitely a memory, definitely a card I want to hold onto for that reason. If you haven't seen this card in general, the foiling on it is very different too. It doesn't look like your regular cold foil cards or even like your enchanted rare. So it looks more like an ultra rare from like Yu-Gi-Oh or something, which I like. Another thing me and Zach talked about last week was the first chapter booster boxes. We didn't say there was a confirmation on like reprints or restocks, but it was more of a speculation. It looks like there's a lot of restocks. I've been seeing, and Zach has been seeing, a lot of people have been seeing posts on Facebook, OfferUp, eBay of first chapter booster boxes, cases, and even the market price has just generally come down from like 250-ish almost. Now we're seeing them closer to 200 again. Plenty of non-verified sellers also have them available, but lowest verified is 212. But you can get them for around $200 with $10 shipping right here by Tau Tech LLC. I've seen first chapter like over and over and over again. You know what I mean? It's good because obviously more people are coming into the game. But like I don't expect first chapter cards to really stay that expensive because of this. You know what I mean? I don't know about you, Zach. Did you really care about reprints that way, or are you expecting them to stop reprinting it? What do you think?
So a lot of distributors like still will get this product in from the companies that they order from, like Ravensburger themselves, and stores have placed orders that they didn't get fully allocated on. So just imagine your shop and you buy like 100 cases or 500 cases. When allocation comes in, it comes in like what they call waves, and you'll get an amount of your order, and the rest of your order you can choose to keep available. So when they do come back and they come in again, you'll receive those orders, or you can choose to cancel the remaining orders. It just depends on your business and your liquidity, and that's up to you. Even if you are just doing this more as your own sole proprietorship, right? So the stores that have been getting them, or the people that have been getting them, are just a lot of people that have ordered them in the past and never canceled. And another re-wave, I would say, just comes out from X amount of like, not orders, but X amount of waves that they've introduced. I know there's like a first print, second print, whatever. So basically, I'm assuming this is from more of the later prints. But they come and they go, and then when they go back up. We've seen this happen plenty of times. It is the first chapter. It is the first set. There is a lot of ways to tell like which printing you have based on how the box is packaged. So just keep in mind, if you are more of a long-term collector and that's your incentive, that the first print has been shown to have a higher price point that's on eBay. But we're looking at TCG Player go for like $200, which is not bad. So a lot of the singles are still played from this set. It's good for competitive players, it's good for casual play, and it's good for collectors.
Yeah, first chapter, great to keep sealed. And if you didn't know, the very, very, very first wave did not have that little sticker seal, that transparent tape on the front of the box. So that's kind of how you know. But buy at your own risk, etc., etc. And again, if you see it on the shelf, it's something that I would definitely want to look into. I know a lot of people want the first chapter to stop being printed. Like I get it. A lot of people bought Elsa's. A lot of people have Enchanteds from the first chapters and Cold Foils from the first chapters. But one of the big things is that a lot of those cards from the first chapter are still very relevant to the metagame right now, and that's the reason why cards like Rapunzel are so expensive. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll see what happens with the first chapter as time goes on. So be sure to stay tuned to Lorcana Goons for that. Let's talk about some Enchanteds. Zach Stone, Mufasa, Ruler of the Pride Rock. This is the most expensive enchanted from the Shimmering Sky set, and we can see it just shooting up in price this week. Look at this. Lowest verified is going to be by Pokédex TCG, 270 and 95-cent shipping included. And they stick around that 270, 275 mark throughout these 12 listings. None of them really hit 300, but these were easily selling for closer to 200 last week from what I remember. Look at this. We have a lot of sales happening for 200, 205, 209, 248 even, closer to 250, 220. Now they're almost 300. What do you think? Is it the artwork? Is it the fact that it's actually playable? You play like one, maybe two. I think it's a little expensive, right? Because like the only other enchanters that are this expensive are like Tinkerbell from the first chapter, Belle from the first chapter, Surfer Stitch. So to see this one really expensive, yeah, I have one. I pulled one. I got lucky. And to see it this high makes me want to sell it like ASAP. What do you think?
Definitely something to consider. I believe you could sell this now and buy it back later for a lot cheaper. I personally don't see myself wanting to pick one up. It's not in my best interest to buy things when they're high. I have done that before and it happens, but I don't want to do that with liquid. When I'm purposely buying things to keep or play with per se, I'm not looking too much at the price. Like I know I'm going to be getting it cheaper for what it goes for at the time, and I'm okay if it goes down because I get to play with it. But I don't play with enchanteds, and I personally am not looking to keep many, if any, at all. And so this is a very good price to sell at. I don't see it going up anymore, but who knows? It could be wrong. And they eventually do go down as more product gets open. I do know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of Shimmering Skies product going around. Definitely a lot of product available. They've gotten good at printing the product, though. An enchanted rare that I will play in my deck is CLaro Light on her hooves. This is one that I personally want, and the price has been going up too. So I think a lot of other people want it. They were selling for around closer to 100 bucks. Lowest verified is now 150.75 by Brady the Greatest, and they kind of stick around there at 170 by Strike Zone Online. But then Poke Stadium jumps all the way up to 173. And there's 22 listings, but at the bottom of the page, they're already about to hit 180. So this is an enchanted rare that I like. If you guys start playing with enchanted rares in your deck, which is actually happening now, like I'm definitely seeing that a lot more. People playing with their Rapunzel promos, their Cindy promos from the DLCs. Shoot, I want to play Dragonfire in Ruby Amethyst just once so I can play a Dragonfire promo, you know? So I think since this is gonna start happening in the metagame. It's important, I think, to I guess to pay attention to like which cards are being used in the meta, because like I have a friend Jerry, shout out little Jerry, picked up an enchanted Clarabelle for $100 on opening weekend, and I was like, that's an amazing card. You should definitely look into that, and now I want them, and I'm mad that I didn't buy them for closer to 100, right? We got Enchanted Morph, which is a pretty neat enchanted rare. Lowest verified for a near mint is still less than 100 bucks. We have Paradigm Games for 9.10 with 10 cents and $2 shipping. Zach, you're talking about Morph. Tell us about why you think Enchanted Morph is the goo. He's literal space goo, but why is he the GUU goo?
He is the goo for multiple reasons. Not only is he the best enchanted, as my girlfriend would like to say, honestly, this card has been something I've kind of like always wanted to play, always felt like has a lot of potential. They may never make a 2-drop or a 1-drop beast character. We may only be able to shift on curve with this character. And honestly, I'm starting to believe it more and more. The shift mechanic is getting a lot more tutorable, I would say. And there is an Emerald Steel deck list that did very well at a side event. Shout outs to Edmund Chu, the winner of the DLC Fort Worth. He did pilot a list that had 4 copies of this in it, and I think he flexes. So not only do I believe he had Enchanteds in his deck, it is a deck I kind of wanted to try out personally. But the card has seen prices at like 150 plus. I've definitely seen it a lot higher. You're looking at prices today at $92. We have the lowest verified Paradigm Games at $91.10 with $2 shipping. I would think that's about close to 95 bucks. Kevin, do you have any incentive to buy some of these? I know you want to enchant it out some decks.
Hey, yeah, I definitely like the idea of playing Morph in my Clarabelle Sapphire deck, so Emerald Sapphire, which we have a video on. You can shift Clarabelle with this card. You can shift Gaston, you can shift Cogsworth. It's a good card. I hate that it has 1 willpower, but move it to the Cove, he got 2 willpower now. He do not lose out to Tinkerbell or something like that, right? But enough of the enchanted news. I think we still are gonna have to wait a little bit of time before we see a lot of people flexing like the first place Edmund Chu with their enchantments in their deck, but it's happening. It is really happening. And a card like Morph, I feel like only gets better over time, So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about some meta cards. Rapunzel, gifted with healing, have been going down a little bit. We were seeing these closer to $50 earlier in the month. Today, lowest verified is King YGO for $43 and $1 shipping. They have 4 of them ready for you to go, which is not bad at all. We were seeing them at 50 bucks, and seeing them at 50 bucks was kind of disheartening, today, cold foils are going to be set more than $70 for sure. We have a bunch of non-verified sellers who have them for around 70 on the dot with a little bit more shipping. Hunt and gather right there, lowest listing, but lowest verified is Crazy Deals with a Z, 77.99. After that, Level Up Games has it for 79.25. This is almost an $80 cold foil. I'm sure a lot of people will probably prefer buying it for less than 80 by these non-verified sellers right here, but a lot of people do go by the lowest verified, so you probably might have to pay $80 closer to for this cold foil Rapunzel. Amber's still very popular in the format, but if you don't want the cold foil, the non-foils, like we just said, are cheaper now, not necessarily near that $50 mark, so maybe consider getting them right now, because I don't think they're going to hit less than 30 anytime soon, or 35 anymore. We got Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood, still selling for more than $40, dude. These are expensive. Right Games LLC non-verified has it in 41.42. Lowest verified has it for 43.62. ARG Circuit Series, shout out you guys. They got 5 of them ready to go. Blast from the past right there, ARG Circuit Series. Let's see if the cold foils have gone up any more than what they weren't going up. Nope, typical Robin Hood activity. Look at this. The non-foils, $42. Cold foils, $45. I don't understand. Like, I just don't. If I had just $1 million, I would just buy all these Robinhood cold foils. It's interesting. So lowest non-verified, 45 with 50-cent shipping. Then the Poke Central has them for 45, shipping included. Then Ronin TCG, 46.65. I'll say it once. I'll say it again. Just spend the extra $5 more and just buy the cold foils instead of the non-foils, right, Zach?
100%.
Wow.
If you guys have been 100%, if you guys have been watching our market watches and have been following us since the beginning, because this is our 100th episode, you would have known that cold foils are better for your money. They hold more value in the long term. They always have potential to go up versus their normal counterparts. And honestly, I mean, I play with cold foils, and they're not that bad when, especially you have a deck full of cold foils. It kind of blends really well. But yeah, even if you had a cold foil and you had the thought of downgrading to get some extra money back, I don't even think you would find somebody that would pay you too much more to swap it. So this is just a card that makes sense to just get it cold foil printings. There is about half of the listings available for the card on TCG Player, and I have had a couple people come by and purchase them from me. I had a couple in a foil binder, and that is at Frankenstein's Collectible Show. So if you're in the Southern California area in the City of Industry, come on by and say hi. I'm at booth M4.
Yeah, go visit Zach at Frankenstein's. He got you on all the cards you need. Like, his inventory is stacked. He even got a bunch of Clarabelles because he listened to me and listened to the Market Watch when we talked about Clarabelle being $5 to $9 on opening weekend. You can go watch that video. I forgot what episode it was, but you can go watch that video. It was literally opening weekend of Shimmering Skies, and Zach and I were talking about how there's no way Clarabelle stays less than $10. There's a bunch of listings for $7, $8, $9, and today, look at where they're at. Lowest verified Pokeballers Mart, 37.87 shipping included. After that, Eric Ember TCG, 36.38, $1.50 shipping. If we go to the bottom of the page, there are more than $40 already. So not that the prices vary for Clarabelle. Not that many sellers have it for less than 40. It's looking like Larry Bud is the next lowest verified, but that's already $38. And after that, you're gonna have to start paying the $40 by even these non-verified listing sellers. So it's almost a $40 legendary now. And again, this card is very powerful. I'm playing it in green blue. I'm seeing a lot of success. I'm not playing the green blue with the ice blocks and the muses, by the way, so just make sure you go watch our video. I've been seeing Earlmeister stream regularly playing Emerald Amethyst. He's seeing a lot of success on Pixelborn Connect with this deck, so go check out his channel too. I just think Clarabelle is really good, dude. Like, I'm so glad that I got my cold foil playset when I did, because look at these cold foils. They're already $47 by Strike Zone Online. JonTron, 47 with $2 shipping. Gamers Gateway, 49.99 with $5 shipping. They're already going like $50+ for these cold foil cows. Cold foil cows, get your cold foil cows over here. Elsa, Spirit of Winter. This is an enchanted. Sorry, this is a legendary. from the first chapter, going up in price a little bit. Lowest verified is now $12 again, $11.95 by Magical Mirage. These were definitely selling for less than $10 in the beginning of August. $6, $7 is what you were paying for your Elsa Spirit of Winter. Now you got to pay more than $10. Pretty cool, right? Cold foils are still very expensive. If you guys didn't know, Elsa's like one of the most sought after cards and just characters in terms of like the Disney franchise. So for whatever reason, this cold foil has always been really expensive since the first chapter. Cold foil Elsas are now close to $50 again, though. They were around $30-ish in the beginning of August, and now look at this Card Fox, $48 lowest verified. The next level games, $48 lowest verified. TGE, $49 lowest verified. So it's about a $50 cold foil. I think a lot of people are catching on to the strategy that we talked about, Zach Stone. I think people are realizing that Elsa F Spirit is a very powerful card in Lorcana, and you can use that Elsa F Spirit to set up a board so that you can shift onto your Elsa F Spirit on turn 6. I like that play a lot. It's looking like other people also like that play. That's why they're going up, right?
100%. It's also an Elsa. It has its enchanted version, which I don't think anyone's going to play with, right off the bat. There are some people that would, and I wouldn't put it past them. But a card that a lot of people aren't necessarily playing in Emerald decks is Diablo, Devoted Herald. We've seen this card see less and less play ever since the Bucky Dorada. It's a mandatory card to play in like Amber Emerald because of the ability to shift and sing cards like Bare Necessities and play characters like Ursula. You're able to really like take a lot of advantage there, rip out the songs that have hands like Amber Steel, or you can rip the friends on the other sides and castles with against Ruby Amethyst. And it does have an enchanted version too, so the cold foils aren't that much more. Again, the reason why we talk about the cold foils is because normally, as time has shown, they tend to hold a value a lot more. So if you're going to pay for like a normal for like $30, you might as well just grab yourself a cold foil and spend $8 more here today. Collector store sealed has you at the lowest verified at $37.98. And this is still a really good card. It says draw a card for every time your opponent draws a card. There's still a lot of decks that struggle to deal with this character. Kevin, what are your thoughts on Diablo as of right now?
Diablo's broken. Diablo's underrated. Moving Diablo to the Cove is broken, underrated. I don't know. I think a lot of people look at decks online and then they decide that the meta is established, and it's just really it doesn't really work that way. So like I'm glad it's cheap. I'm glad right now they're $30. Because one, it's like a stable market, so I don't think it's gonna really dip less than that. And if it does, I'm gonna buy them because it's an Emerald staple. It's a card that you're gonna need for sure in your Emerald decks in the future. Right now, like a lot of the meta decks naturally, actually, it's really just Ruby Sapphire that naturally plays around this really well. Even like Steel decks, like Steel's supposed to be like the best matchup for Emerald color, for the Emerald color, but like not with Hidden Cove and stuff like that. Like it's just it keeps everything safe. It's so crazy. A whole new world. Speaking of Steel, a whole new world going up in price this month. These were around closer to $10 in the beginning of the month, and now lowest verified is Cardboard Castle, $11.74. With $1 shipping. Corbin Cards and Games has it for $12.75 after that, so they are getting close to that $15 range. Cold foil whole new worlds are going to be $20+ still. Wow, lowest verified is $26.50. Look at that. First chapter cold foils. Oh, never cease to amaze me, bro. Even the non-verified Pro Cards Unlimited is $20 with $5 shipping. So you're going to be paying around $25 for cold foil whole new worlds again. That's cool because I remember like last format or like 2 formats ago, there was like big hype and these were selling for like $30 cold foil. Then they fell to like 15 to 20 for the cold foil. So now they're back up to 25. That's always nice to see. Let's talk about some cards that have been coming down since the release of Shimmering Skies. Prince Naveen was selling for like $40 for a very long time. Now lowest verified is less than 25 even. We have Card Fox for 23.25 lowest verified for your Prince Naveens, and it's pretty competitive. There's 200 listings, and it never really moves past that $23 mark. Pokeballers Mart 23.25, Larry Bud 22.33. They have two of them for you, and $24 by Stone Drink Collect. So it's looking like Prince Naveen is going to be staying at less than 25 for a cool minute. The cold foils though are getting pretty close to 40. Freedom Gaming LLC, they got two of them, $36.95. Not a bad deal if you want to get two cold foils because not that many sellers usually list more than one cold foil together. So that's not a bad price at all. We got Mufasa, Ruler of the Pride Rock, the non-enchanted version, definitely coming down in price. These also were selling for around 35, 30, even $25 for the longest time. And now lowest verified is Rated E Gaming, $20.15. I'm glad to see this finally come down. This is not a card that you can probably play four of in any deck, and it's a legendary card that is probably not going to be any more expensive than the Cisu legendary. You know what I mean? So seeing this sell for like 35, $40, like opening weekend, seeing those pre-orders, and we're warning people not to buy the pre-orders. Yeah, so it's definitely a card that I don't even think it's going to last at $20 personally. That's just my opinion. Cold foils though, we'll see where these are at today. $28.99 Tournament City, lowest verified. So almost $30 for the cold foil Mufasa. Ursula Deceiver of All, still really inexpensive. I'm gonna talk about this card as long as it's less than $20. I think that's wild. Crunches Cards has them for $16.90 with $1 shipping. That's the lowest verified. I still believe in this card. I think you have to play a type of strategy. Obviously, Prince John Sudden Chill with this. I think its card even might be playable in Emerald Amber, but we'll see what happens. 2305 is lowest non-verified for a cold foil version, and the lowest verified is FRG Collectibles for $24.92 for your cold foil Ursula Deceiver of Alls. That's crazy. Only about $25, and the non-foils are around 18. This card is really good. So to see it that cheap, that's very interesting. Very interesting. Beast Tragic Hero. Oh, so sad. Sad Beast. Probably sad because he's just been tumbling down in price. Check this out. A lot of non-verified sellers have Beast available for less than $40. Matthews, $36.49, 50-cent shipping. Then we have Oddly Pleased, $35.99. They got two of them for you. You got to pay a little bit more shipping, but they got multiples, so you can save some money. Then lowest verified is Next Level Games Muncie, $39.51 with $1 shipping. Oh, look at this. Dark Vessel Gaming has 6 of them ready for you. You just got to pay $39 and $1.20 shipping. So it's about a $40 legendary now, even a little bit less maybe by going through non-verified sellers. Zach, what's happening with Beast Tragic Hero, dude?
Uh, it's his destiny to remain a beast forever. However, it's not seeing the play that it was once seen when Bucky was around, and that might have something to do with it. It is still a very powerful legendary. Cold foils are actually still a little above, I would say just above $65. We have a lowest verified at 66.79. There isn't that many listings available. I always like to kind of point out the amount of listings that are on this card. There's only 32. It's probably going to be about 3 pages. So it's just something that not a lot of people are looking to play in their deck. We're seeing more and more Sapphire decks include Ice Block again. Ice Block makes this character lose a strength, which means it can be brawled or it can be under the seed in the Emerald Sapphire lists that are playing the Muses. So it's a card that might not be able to trigger as much as it used to. Locations aren't seeing too much play nowadays, so its extra strength boost when it's damaged might not even come up anymore. And yeah, like the only thing that I would say keeps this deck or keeps this card's hopes up is that Emerald Steel deck that did well at the side event. So it still will see play. It still is a card that a lot of people include in their deck. Sapphire Steel might play a copy or two. It just depends on what your meta is like personally.
I can dig that. I feel like I also have been seeing less people play this in a lot of steel decks, whether it be Sapphire Steel, Amber Steel, Emerald Steel. So, maybe get your beasts if they come closer to $30. Daisy Duck also coming down in price a little bit. Not too much, but these were like $20 for the longest time. And now you can get them closer to $15, which is nice. Broken Robots, $14.95 with $1 shipping. That's non-verified. Lowest verified Blast Toys Cards Gaming has them for $15.10 with $1 shipping. So you're paying around $15 for your non-foil daisies. Cold foil daisies are still going to be pretty expensive. Lowest verified is going to be $25.92 with $4 shipping, basically $30. Non-verified sellers do have them for $25 with about $1.50 shipping. So $26, you get a little bit of a discount there, but it's going to be closer to $30 more than likely for your cold foil Daisies. Another card coming down in price, Queen's Castle. These were like 15, almost $20 at one point last format. Now we have some non-verified sellers. They have 5 of them. Pork Roll Gaming. Shout out you guys. 5 are ready to go right there for $9.99. After that, another seller has them for $3. Mercard TCG, $9 with $1 shipping. Then Lorcana TCG Games, lowest verified for $11. So definitely not in that $15 mark anymore. The cold foils are actually even less than $15 themselves too. Dungeon Games 14.20. So that's a really good deal, I think. I do think again locations are in a weird spot right now with the meta. There's so many outs to locations now, but the Queen's Castle is still the best location in the game, 100%. So that doesn't change. Cisu Emboldened Warrior coming down in price this format, only about $3. $2 with $1.27 shipping by Titanium Cards LLC. Pretty cheap for your Cisu Emboldened Warriors today. Cold foils are still a nice price though. Check this out. You see, non-foils tend to just come down in price, but at least the cold foils maintaining their price a little bit. They used to be $12. Now they're around $9 to $10. Elite Trainer Gaming, $8.99 with $1 shipping. Core TCG, $9.99 shipping included. They got 3 of them for you. So it's not too bad if you held on to those cold foils. Maleficent Biding Her Time and Lilo, both of these cards, no longer at necessarily $10. Card Crack has them for $7.79 for the lowest verified. Lilo, lowest verified is going to be $7.84 by Pro Play Games. So these were a little closer to $10 during the hyper aggro hype. Cold foils are as low as 12 to 13 for your Lilos, which is honestly pretty good. But after the first 3 sellers, they start to hit $14 very quickly. So not too bad there. What do you think, man? Zach, is hyper aggro the deck? Is it still popping, or are we moving past the hyper aggro hype from the beginning of the meta?
It's something that has to kind of be thought in the back of your head. The way I have always perceived this game to work is like in meta trends and how it shifts, and predicting the weak spot in the format
Oh
is
yeah.
always a challenge to do. However, you have to consider a lot of different decks as options to be the deck that targets the weak spot. Hyper aggro can target the weak spot. Like I said, this deck just can't be ignored. Has to Daisy Duck changes the way people play and build their decks, and we can't deny that. All the competitive players that I've talked to have said that. And whether or not that's an opinion you think is right or wrong, a lot of people stand on that position, and it's probably as fair to assume that not everyone can be wrong. Someone has to be right in that group, right? In my opinion, at least, that's what makes sense. That this deck is something you're going to have to keep on your radar, and you can't enter something like a DLC and not expect to play against one, maybe even two. Is it going to dominate a format? It could. It could. If a lot of decks shift to a control aspect, this could really just come out of the gates and just win games on turn 4, like no problem. So has to be respected. The price point does make sense based on how the meta is changing, but don't ever count this out ever.
Yeah, I think yellow purple hyper aggro is a good litmus test when deck building for this format. If you're building a deck and you're not building it in respect to this color combination, then you're building it wrong. Same thing if you're building a deck, it should be able to beat Ruby Amethyst and Ruby Sapphire. Those are like my 3 like top decks of like, oh yeah, this is like the test of like deck building. You got to respect the, because that's the one in my opinion, the like top 3 things that I'm gonna see at like my locals, and then I'll kind of go from there. But yeah, you should be building with the hyper aggro stuff in mind. Merlin Rabbits, they're pretty cheap today. This is a staple, I think, in Amethyst cards that I think we should be looking into. Only about $3, and and look at this. RNG Games, NJ has 13 of them for $3.25 with $1.27 shipping. So I think that's pretty good for your Merlin Rabbits, a staple that you're gonna see. They're gonna need in Amethyst. And look at the cold foils, dude. They're almost $20 now. These just been going up. Lowest verified is $20 actually. 52 cents with $1.27 shipping by Dr. Cardzard. Shout out you. Geek Arcadia has them for a little bit cheaper, 18.80 with $3 shipping. Wow. And then look at this. They just keep going higher and higher. Next verified digital hi-fi around $22. Litter Root Games 23.88. Wow. cold foil Merlin Rabbits. That's I regret not buying my cold foil Merlin Rabbits in LZX Stone. That's pretty nice actually. We also have Elsa, the fifth spirit. We were just talking about this a little while ago, and respect with the other Elsa. It's a very good cold foil. Check this out. Lowest verified is 1340. Double down games for your Elsa fifth spirit cold foil. This comes in the starter deck, my goons. The starter deck has an MSRP price tag of $15. So like this one cold foil from the starter deck pays for almost the full starter deck, and you get a pack in that starter deck. This is a very good starter deck, dude. I mean, it's not gonna last either. This is probably gonna come down. This card's really good though. This card is like an instant out to Diablo. Yeah, I love it. Zach, how you feeling about this?
Because it's honestly something that you gotta look at a value point. You are able to purchase a starter deck for $17 plus tax, and that means that the pack that comes in there should be MSRP at around $5.99, and $5.99 plus $13.40 is already more than $17.99 plus tax. If anything, it's about even, so you get some extra cards for free. If you have the ability to move cards, this might be something for you guys to do. It's not going to last though, so this is an opportunity that will probably come and go. I think that Elsa F Spirits will stay at a pretty high price point in comparison to their normal counterpart, but it's interesting too because we're even if we're even looking at it from other starter decks, characters like the Shift Queen are also seeing a lot of play. Yet their foil counterparts and normal counterparts are literally the same price.
Yeah, they're both like $5.
Oh, I don't even
Even
think they're
less.
$5.
Even less, yeah.
Cheaper. They're cheaper. It's a card that we're not talking about on our today's market watch because of how cheap it is. But this card is not cheap, and this card again is an opportunity buy. Any goons watching this today, strike now while the iron's hot is what they say. So
yeah, definitely.
yeah, this card is also very good. You should be looking to play a lot of copies in your Ruby Am decks. But go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, oh sorry. Definitely play the card. The card is gas. I love the card. And definitely don't pay $13 for. And if any sellers are mad at me for leaking that information, so I just in my opinion, wait like if you have no like big tournaments to play, even just get the non foils. I just or again just go buy starter decks because if you're gonna pay 13, 14, even almost $15 for this cold foil, you might as well just buy your starter decks, my goons. You know what I mean? Get that product moving, get that extra pack on the side. MIM Elephant cold foils still selling for around $8-ish. Lowest verified for a near mint is $7.31 with the dollar shipping, and they stick around that like $7 price for your cold foil elephants, which is a pretty good cold foil. This is the one that I personally am looking into because I'm playing John Silver in my green blue deck. Yes, you heard that right. I am playing John Silver in my green blue deck. If you want to see that deck list, go check out that video. It'll be at the end of this video. There's a link you can click. Picante TCG has cold foils for only $11. I think that's so cheap. $10.98 right there. Big Mom Empire has them for $11, shipping included. Also very cheap. And they've been going up in price just a little bit from what it's looking like. And actually in July and June they were 12. Now they're 10. So they're actually pretty cheap in my opinion. I like this card a lot. I think it's very good against the hyper aggro stuff. I like it in my blue-green deck, and it's a legendary. So legendary cold foils, it's really cheap for a legendary cold foil in my opinion. Madame Medusa, and a more expensive cold foil, and it's just a super. These are selling for around $13, but they have been coming down. They were around $15, even almost $20 last format. So to see them this low, I think it's kind of nice. I'm considering buying these three from Solakaido right here. They got three of them ready to go. $13.35. I don't get paid this week. Otherwise, I probably would get these three. But this is a good buy right here. I think $13.35, and lowest verified is $13.33. They stick around this $13 mark for your cold foil Madame Medusas, which is again a staple, I think, in Ruby decks. You're either playing 2 or 3 in Ruby Amethyst, or even like 3 to 4 in Ruby Sapphire. Especially now that everyone's playing Ice Block again, this card's really good, right? Under the Sea is an amazing card this format. Everybody was playing, everybody's like super hyped for Emerald Amber as well because we just saw Diego Saz win the DLC in Toronto with Emerald Amber, and he was spanking people around with Under the Sea Kita as a combo. And we even did a video with Diego Saz. We had a Quest with the Guest podcast episode, our weekly episode, where he explained how he plays Emerald Amber. But look at this. There's only 2 listings now for the Under the Sea cold foils, and they're $17. This is like almost a $20 cold foil. Now, LO Gaming has the lowest verified, 1750. Then Zig's Cards House, they got a playset for you right there, ready to go if you want to spend 17 bucks each on those. I'd love to see it, Zach. How are you feeling about these?
I'm feeling like Sebastian singing Under the Sea. I love this card. I haven't been playing a lot of Emerald lately, so I haven't been able to really resolve it since it's not in my deck.
I
However,
sorry,
one of
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to briefly mention that I also mentioned this in the Market Watch. I mentioned Cold Foil Under the Seas. You're gonna want to look into these. I mentioned it like 2 weeks ago, and look at this. In June and July, they were $2. They were $2, Zach Stone, and look at the recent sales data: $15, $9, $8, $10, $8. Sorry, I needed to say that just because the amount of come ups that and then me being silly, I didn't want to buy a million of them. But anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
they always say you should take your own advice. However, the Under the Sea card is just a card you respect in Emerald Sapphire and Emerald Amber decks. You have to really anticipate this sort of be prepared style card. It is a sing together, so it doesn't necessarily need to be played on turn 8. It can be played as early as turn 4, I believe, for Emerald Amber. But the Emerald Sapphire decks can actually ramp up and be able to play this like a Be Prepared, no problem. So just kind of keep in mind that this card also doesn't do anything to your characters. It is one-sided completely. So that's why I think it's devastating when it does resolve. Um,
Yeah,
Kevin did talk about
it's like a Regeki.
Yeah, Kevin did talk about the foils going dramatically up. So get your normals if you need to play this card. Normals aren't too expensive. Foils are. I think you time is missed to pick up these. So that's why we always encourage everyone to go ahead and give yourself post notifications on our videos so you can get the Market Watch info as soon as it's available.
Yeah, and again, like I mentioned it, you guys can go look at the archived videos. I mentioned Cold for Under the Seas. I got a playset for myself, but that's all I did. I didn't get more than that because I'm like, I could be wrong. But no, now I regret not getting like 20 playsets. The library, a gift for Bill, another great cold foil. This one from Shimmering Skies has been getting close to that $5 mark. Double Down Games, 375 with $1.27 shipping. Then Penniless Card Shop, 450 with $1.27 shipping. So it's about a $5 cold foil, which is nice to see. And here's some cold foils that I think are like sleeper. This is the category in which we put Under the Sea last time, so maybe look out for some of these. Lumiere, Fiery Friend. I'm seeing a lot of people enjoy this card in their Ruby Amethyst decks, in their Ruby decks in general. If you have Lumiere, it's basically going to potentially stop them from using Under the Sea because now your characters are going to be a little bit stronger in strength. It also plays around Cisu, kind of has like an effect where it'll like a cove effect almost, where your characters are going to be out of Cisu range, potentially even out of Madame Medusa range. Yes, they play Ice Block, but Ice Block only hits one character. You know what I mean? So we got Lumiere today. Lowest verified only $1.34 with $1.27 shipping. So around less than $2 for your rare Lumiere cold foils, by the way. These are the cold foils. These are still pretty cheap in my opinion. Cheap. BOGO. We covered some deck lists in one of our recent videos, and there is a Bloodborne Emerald Steel deck that was playing Chief BOGO, and we have been seeing the price go up on these just a little bit, but they're still pretty cheap in my opinion for a rare that's potentially broken. Olympus is that way, has them for $128 with $1.27 shipping, and a bunch of non-verified sellers have them for $1 on the spot with extra shipping, $1.27 for your cold foil Chief BOGOs. Very, very cheap. Popsicles. Cold foil popsicles, it's a common card, but it's a cold foil. They're around $5, $4.77 with $1.27 shipping, but they've been going up a little bit. I feel like these might hit more than $5 very soon before that shipping, so I want to mention that. And it's if Popsicle can get there, maybe Fortisphere can get there too. If you're a Sapphire Steel enjoyer, these Fortisphere cold foils are very cheap. Sunshine Games has 3 of them ready for you, ready to go. $1 with $1.27 shipping. That's very strong in my opinion. We just looked at Popsicle. It's not obviously not the same card because you can't play this with Flavor Sham all the time, but it's still a very strong card, I think. So definitely worth looking into some of these cold foil staples. And then Visions of the Future. I feel like everybody's playing this in Sapphire now. This kind of power crap to develop your brain, right? Cold foils today are around $2. We have Double Down Games, $1 with 127, but after that, they are around $2 by QB, KNC, and then they're around 89 cents, 99 cents by a bunch of different sellers. So they're around a dollar or two for the cold foils, which is still pretty cheap, right, Zach?
Definitely. I mean, I can't stress this enough. $2 for this card is fair. You end up having to pay $2. You don't need to feel too bad about it. You are basically spending the same amount and waiting that 2-week time frame to receive it in the mail. Don't go ahead and pay like $5 for something like this because this card may not ever hit that kind of price point. It is a common. Not to say that it's not possible. It's just more of the uncommons that seem to dramatically increase. But the uncommon Cisu from the Ursula's Return is a $3 uncommon and sees a lot of play in Ruby decks across the board.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of decks focus on the Cisu lines to combat the aggro strategy, especially Daisy Duck just being the card that it is. It is an immediate answer. When you're on the play, you are giving Daisy Duck the ability to quest only like twice, not that much, or even once. And it is a solid card, being evasive. The cold foils might just last a lot longer, or could see a spike one day. You never know. That's how it goes in this cold foil world.
Yeah, it is an uninkable. So I do question the ability to play 4 of this card, but people are playing a lot of copies of this card in their deck now. I feel like now you can comfortably play Ice Block Sisu combo way better now because Bucky's not in the meta. And this is like a great out to a lot of the aggro decks and stuff like that. A lot of people go Ice Block on my Diablo and they'll Sisu Daring Visitor on it, and it's very impactful. I see this card everywhere. So to see the cold foils at less than $5 still, when we see some of the other uncommon cold foils like Pete, selling for like $9, it's very telling. So I just want to point that out also this week. And then last but not least, we got Cloud Kicker Tough Guy, the League promo, kind of going back up in price just a little bit. They're still pretty cheap. They're only about $1.50 or less with 127 shipping, and plenty of sellers have multiples of them. Like Jack Games over here, 150 with $1.27 shipping. You can get 10 of them, or you can get just your playset for them, right? So that's a pretty good cold a league promo to look into. I think only about $2 to $3 for your kit Cloud Kickers. But that's going to be all for the Friday Market Watch. Thank you, Zach Stone, for hanging out with me and talking about the market again. Zach Stone, again, sells cards for a living, so I do take his words, very serious. And thank you to everybody watching the Lorcana Goons channel. This is the 100th Market Watch episode that we've done. It's been a long time coming. We're almost about a year since we started the channel because we did the first ever video, I want to say like a week after set 2 was announced. So somewhere around September or October. So we're getting there. It's been really cool, man. Zach and I are going to DLC Vegas. So if you're going to be at DLC Vegas in September, make sure to say hi to us. Join the Discord down below. And yeah, remember to like, comment, and subscribe because it does support the channel and it helps a lot. Zach, anything you want to say before we go?
The last thing I do want to add, if you are a member of our Lorcana Goons Discord, you are noticing some changes. The Discord is a little under construction, as I'd like to call it. So please let us know if there's any issues or anything that you're not able to do. We are trying to make the experience a lot more positive. We are noticing the community is growing and we feel more responsible to provide a better user experience for all the members here. So thank you for everyone that watches our videos. Like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget those push notifications, guys, because we are pumping out a lot more content. And as always, stay tuned to Lorcana Goons.
All right, my goons, we'll see you goons next time. And if you need sleeves, don't forget, go to pristineprotection.com, link in the description below. Use Goons10.